Hi guys, Rob here. This is week 14 of the quarantine in Cebu, and what a week it's been in Cebu. The army's in town. A barangay thinks it's a perfect time to have a fiesta in the middle of this quarantine, and we learnt that the homemade sauna doesn't cure the virus. I also had the chance to interview some staff at a coffee shop. And then there's a big question, when is this quarantine going to end? There's lots to get through in this video, so let's get to it. First, let's look at the worldwide stats for the coronavirus to see how the Philippines is faring against the rest of the world. Ominously, the world has breached two milestones. One, passing the 10 million cases, and two, over 500,000 deaths. And this is pretty much just in half a year. Digging deeper, USA far leads the world with over 2.5 million cases and over 128,000 deaths. Brazil, Russia, India and UK leading out the top five. Those five countries alone account for over half the Covid-19 cases. Looking at the Philippines, it's number 38. And if you've been watching my previous videos, you'll see the Philippines has been hovering around this mark for many weeks now. If you look at the daily new cases in the Philippines, you can see the distinctive increase at the end of May, early June, when many places reduced their quarantine from ECQ to a GCQ, and the graph shows they've roughly stayed within that particular band. If you say compare this with Indonesia, the graph shows that the cases are continuously rising. Looking more closely at the Philippines, the total number of cases is 36,438 with nearly 10,000 recoveries. Cebu City has passed the 5,000 cases this week, with 191 new cases recorded yesterday. So with Cebu's alarming increases in cases, has led the president to crack down on Cebu City. So he sent in the army to enforce the quarantine protocols. To make it clear, this is not martial law. The army or the special forces are working alongside the police, making sure the quarantine procedures are followed. There's been criticism of the local government that they were too lax implementing quarantine policies, as well as misconceptions about COVID-19. And I would go so far as some people in Cebu not understanding the seriousness or the ramifications of this virus. And when you see something like this barangay holding a fiesta in the middle of the quarantine, you can just see some people just don't get it. And if you're an international tourist wanting to come to the Philippines for a vacation, there lies your answer why it's taking so long. So this is what I've been saying for the last few weeks, that everyone needs to pull together. We only need one small group to fall apart and it ruins all the hard work that everyone else has been doing. So let's pull together and we can get through this quicker. Otherwise, we're just going to be extending the quarantine every 2 weeks for indefinitely. Anyway, the barangay holding this fiesta has been slapped with a "please explain." Then the big news in social media here in Cebu was all about steam inhalation. Basically a makeshift sauna with the idea this would either prevent or cure the virus. These claims were quickly put to rest by the medical profession. And if it was really true, Finland would have no COVID-19 cases. The problem is some people believe it, like this woman who died. I'm not saying she might have not died anyway, but it's just a clear lack of understanding of the virus by many. The Philippine government has had its own criticism too. Like with many governments around the world fighting this virus, they're increasing spending, with the Philippines' debt to GDP ratio to hit around 50%. Manila Times reported a senior economist was not so concerned about the levels though. What do you think? So with the crackdown in Cebu, there's certainly a different vibe around. Even from my balcony in neighbouring Mandaue City, I see less people out in the last week. It does feel like things are getting done, on the surface anyhow. And having police and special forces on the streets would certainly be intimidating and would definitely help people stay at home. It's only been a week, so the virus stats, which tend to be lagging or backlogged, are yet to show any real significant decreases in the numbers. I would expect you to see those soon though. The President tonight will announce the new levels of the quarantine for each area of the Philippines. I've seen in the media people on both sides saying that the ECQ should continue on, but I've also seen others saying it should go back to a GCQ. We will see what happens shortly. Whatever the case, the quarantine restrictions will be lowered in stages. So Cebu itself will still be in some type of quarantine well into July. So what are your ideas on the quarantine, on how it's working? So as I discussed last week with the Panda drivers, they're really struggling because when people do have money, they're not spending it on restaurants and they're not spending it on takeout. And it'll be the same for coffee shops as well. They're buying the necessities from the supermarket to survive this pandemic. And it's uncertain times still. We don't know when this crisis is going to finish. So the other day I had an interview with some of the staff here just to see how they're going with this pandemic and how the business is like. So let's check that out. Hi guys, so I'm just interviewing a couple of workers here at Coffee Dream. So what are your names?
My name is Keith.
And my name is Venus.
And how long have you been working here for?
It's been a year.
1 year?
It's me 4 years.
4 years?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
so you're an expert in this place. You know all the ins and outs. So what big differences do you notice most in working here, that is, between like say January and now in June, the biggest differences in working at the shop? Like
Today, sir, it has a very big difference because before we have a lot of customers coming in and coming out, and then today sales is being dropped because there are more customers is living in Cebu City, other in Cebu province, and then so there's
okay, so you just got like people from Mandaue, but you used to get
Yes,
people
sir.
from Cebu City and from the province coming in and eating or
Yes, sir.
having a
Mostly
coffee.
of our customers are our students.
Students, so
Yes,
most of your
yes,
customers are
yes,
students
sir.
and they're stuck at home, then under 21 and not allowed
Yes.
out, so you've lost a lot of your market share.
yes, sir,
So,
students
how-
and meetings.
So how much do you reckon it's gone down? Like, we've only got one and myself, 2 people in here. So like this time in the morning, would this be packed normally?
No, sir. Mostly in the morning we have already many customers.
Yeah, so how much would you say it's gone down? Like, is it down 80%, 90%,
Maybe 40%, sir.
40% lower than what it was?
Yes.
Okay, so the revenue making, is it, obviously it's a lot lower. Is it still viable? Are you still making a profit here? Is it, or you're struggling?
We're still struggling.
Yes,
Struggling to make
Yes.
money.
Struggling this situation.
Yeah, obviously. So do you notice what type of customers do you get now? Are they people buying from the supermarket and then coming to stop by, or we're not sure?
No, sir. Most of the customers are going to supermarkets, not dropping here.
Not stopping here. How would people come before? Would they just come to meet friends here and hang out? So that's all gone, that type of market?
Yes.
And it's mostly young people coming, like students.
Yes.
We're your biggest
Mostly
market.
students.
And that's all gone now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the changes in your shop, so now are you allowed 30% seating?
Yes, only 30% dining, sir.
Okay. And as far as your food and beverages, what's changing that? So coffees are just as normal, but do you serve still the same amount of food, or
No, sir.
it's reduced?
We only serve, as for now, sir, coffee and chilled blend, sir. We don't have
Hot coffee.
hot coffee.
Hot coffee and
Yes, sir.
And
blended.
blended.
a blended.
Blended coffee.
So there's no foods or
We
limited
have cookies and
Ah.
muffins. As
coffee.
for now, sir.
Okay.
Foods also, sir. If they want to have pasta and breakfast.
You have pasta and all that,
Yes, sir.
but it's limited to what you can get than before.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what are your biggest struggles here? Like, also here and also
Transportation, sir.
transportation is the
Yes,
biggest.
yes, sir.
So how do you get here?
Just bus.
Riding a bus.
Either
Sir.
riding a bus.
And what differences from then and now is riding the bus?
Before we are riding a jeep and the fare of jeep is only 10 pesos to 15, but now we
But
are.
now, sir,
It's getting
higher
higher.
than that.
So the bus fare is a lot
Yes,
more
sir.
expensive.
Yes,
It's more
sir.
expensive now, sir.
Is it like double the price, or how much more are you paying?
I think it's double, sir.
Double. Before, for me, I'm from Liloan, so my fare is only 13 pesos, but now from Lasyon to here I fare is 30 pesos.
30 so
So
from
that's
8,
very big in fact.
something from 13 peso
From 13
to
pesos.
13 pesos to 30.
the transport time is the same or different?
Different also, sir.
Is it longer or the
So
same?
it's shorter time.
Okay. And seating, so on a bus, how often does the bus come? So it's one of those yellow buses?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Yellow
yes.
bus.
So only one per 2 seats?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So is it harder to get a seat than before? Like, do you miss buses because it's full? Because it's coming from Liloan, or no different?
No, that.
No experience.
And where are you coming from?
I'm just there in
Mandaue.
Mandaue, sir.
So how do you get here by
Bus.
bus?
Riding a bus.
And it's harder for you as well?
No, it's okay, sir.
Same?
It's one ride only.
And it's the same price or you're paying more?
No, sir. It's double.
Double what you were paying before. But you're coming from a little one and that's, how long does that take? 1 hour?
No, sir, it's only 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
But before
Because there's no
it's
traffic anymore, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so one benefit, there's no
traffic.
traffic coming here. Okay. So how do you protect yourselves and customers in the shop here? So what differences are you doing?
Before you enter our store, sir, you have to put your mask and you have to put alcohol before you enter.
Okay.
And you
So,
have to step in the mat.
Sanitation.
step on the mat.
Sanitation.
alright, let me see that. Okay. So you have to step on the mat there. So that's for customers.
Yes.
So customers and for your,
And for us also.
For us also.
and do you like clean the doors and all that as
Yes,
you
sir,
come in
yes, sir.
and when you leave as well? So that's
Before and
extra.
after that, anong dapat ng customer.
Yeah.
Customer come in.
Okay. Alright. And obviously you got the mask. You can't enter without a mask.
Yes, sir. We have
Okay.
also this one for their information.
Social distancing and masks required. So, do you make the best coffee in town?
Yes, sir.
Ah.
We are the
Yes.
best coffee.
What's the best seller here?
For our blended, sir, we have Frosticino.
That's your best seller here.
For the blended. And for the
What's
hot,
that? What's inside that drink?
Blended mocha with coffee, sir.
So like chocolate. It's like
Yes.
chocolate and
Chocolate,
yes.
and coffee. Okay, and that's your best. And that's cold or hot? Do you have it?
It's a cold, sir.
It's
We
cold.
have also hot for that, sir.
But the best one is the
best
cold.
is the cold.
The cold one.
Yes.
Okay. So this was closed for 3 months. So
Yes, sir.
how
2
did
months.
2 months?
Yes, sir.
So how did you cope at home? How was that as a struggle, coping at home? So you weren't making money for 2 months?
Yes, sir, because we didn't receive any
Any benefits from it?
So you didn't get the 6,000
No,
peso?
No, sir, we don't receive the
The
stuff
stuff,
from
the
government.
or-
What?
Only the
We didn't-
stuff, only the
we
rice.
You got the rice?
The rice.
How much rice did you get?
5 kilos, sir.
For how long was that? For 2 months or 1 month?
For every 2 weeks, 5 kilos, sir.
Every 2 weeks you get 5 kilos of rice. And how did that go? Like,
It's not enough, sir.
not enough?
Not
Yes, sir.
How long does 5 kilos last for you in your house?
Maybe 1 to 4 days. I live with my family, sir.
And so that 5 kilos for the whole family.
Yes, for the whole family, sir.
So what happens after it runs out? What do you do?
So we need to find ways, sir.
So how are you finding ways to get money to do that?
Make some business to
Online business.
online business
So
to
you-
make your money.
So you've been doing
Times-
online business in the
yes,
last
sir.
2 months to make extra cash to get
Yes, sir.
by. And has that worked a little bit or was it okay?
It helps, sir.
It helped, yeah. And yourself?
So for me, I struggle, but I have my husband in other countries, so
Sending money back?
yes, sir.
And that's why you don't get the 6,000 as well, because someone else is working overseas sending money. So does that disqualify you for that 6,000? Is that what
No,
happens?
sir, I'm not qualified for that. So.
Because your husband's working overseas?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the pandemic as well, because a lot of people overseas have lost their jobs as well.
But she's
close sila.
working. No, they are not closed for their company in Dubai.
So it's still working, so
yes, it's
so
been
no.
working for 3 months until now.
So that's really helped you. Like, have you got kids and that to look after?
Yes, sir.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2 kids.
So it's a struggle, but you've been getting by because your husband's been able to help with sending money. What are you hoping when the pandemic's over? What's the first thing you'd want to do?
Just want to come back our customers also that
Serve your customers. And socially, what would you like to do? Like,
actually I want to go to the beach. sir.
did it go back to the beach?
We want to
Go-
go
I think
outside.
We need a break for this
Yeah, it's
kind
best.
of situations.
It's hard to just stay at home and come here and all that. And how many hours do you work here? Like, do you start at 9 o'clock?
We start 8 until 6.
Just come here in our shop because it is a safe place and we are giving them the best coffee in this.
There you go, the best coffee in town. Come here,
Yes.
relax. Because people need to make money again. We need to get the Cebu economy working and getting back to normality. So coffee is a great way to start the day and get your day going. So get your coffee from here at Coffee Drink in
Park.
Parkmore, Mandaue. Look, good luck, be safe, and thank you very much. And I hope this turns around quickly and we're back to normality in a game. But thank you so much for watching. Please keep safe out there, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.